Hello everybody, and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today I'm going to do a fast and loose tonalism oil painting using the Grumbacher Max, which is a water-soluble oil paint. So first and foremost, when I ordered, I think it was a phthalo green watercolor, they accidentally sent me this. I was ordering from Jerry's Artorama. So they sent me the correct watercolor, and then I was like, well, I have the phthalo green in this water-soluble oil pigment. Might as well try, a painting with it. So I ordered the phthalo red rose. It's a two-color combination that I like, and I figured it would be interesting to try it with the water-soluble. On the side, I pulled up just the webpage for Grumbacher, and first of all, on these, it says that they have excellent light fastness, which is always important for me. It says that it uses the same pigments and linseed oil that's used in their regular oil paints. It maintains its water mixable properties when intermixed with traditional oil paints or oil painting mediums, as long as the artist uses at least 70% of the max color and no more than 30 of regular. So it looks like if I wanted to mix another color in that wasn't water soluble, the word is miscible. I just can't pronounce it. I apologize. And then it just eliminates the use of harsh solvents and is ideal for those sensitive to chemical fumes. So this might be an option for people that can no longer oil paint because, the turpentine or maybe the Galkid or something like that is getting to. I use Galkid. I really don't have much of an issue with it, but I know people have issues with like liquid and other things. So this might be an option. So I'm just going to try it out, and we're just going to paint in the tonalist style, fast and loose, and we're going to have fun. So I put the paints out. They're a lot more liquidy compared to the Williamsburg, but I think it's personal preference. A lot of people might find the Williamsburg drier side because of how much just pure pigment it is. I just put some water in a little inkwell just because I had no idea how to get water out onto here. Oh wow, that's so weird. Okay, so I'm just using that to kind of thin it out. And we'll just kind of do our fast and loose approach and see what happens. And I'm going to make up a scene. I'm going to wipe back and forth. I'm using a 5x7 piece of the gesso board, which is made by Ampersand. I think this is the museum quality one. I've never tried the other, the cheaper one. I've read reviews that paint just slides right off. So let's just try smearing around, seeing what textures we can get. I am using phthalos, which are, I believe, more of a staining pigment. So I wonder if I won't be able to wipe back as much. You have to really scrub. So I'm painting flat on a table, and just so we can kind of film down. So the first thing that I can say is me using staining pigment I'm having trouble wiping back, and I don't know if that'll give an accurate assessment of the paint itself. So you just have to be very, if you're using the phthalo, just cognizant of where you're putting it. What I can do is do an experiment with phthalo green that's just a regular oil paint, and see what happens there, see if I'm able to wipe back. If I take a Q-tip and scrub at it, okay, yeah, we can go back with that. Might have just been a matter of pressure. This is reminiscent of like kind of the visual that a pastel would give, because of that scrubbing texture that I just put in. And I know for some people that's, you know, aesthetically pleasing. Some may not like that. But I think that's the path I'm going to take with this one, where I'm going to put in pigment and then scrub back. And create in that fashion, kind of like a charcoal drawing. I think we might be able to get some interesting effects and scenery. Good thing I have a lot of these Q-tips out. That's lifting easier. That was more paint than water in that area. Let me go see. Hold on 1 second. All right. So ultimately, it just feels different than regular oil paints, at least for me. I feel like my approach is becoming a lot different than if I was to do a tonalist, fast and loose oil painting. By the way, just to kind of throw some names out there. So this is kind of in the style or technique, well, originally, I'd seen it in like Stuart Davies videos and Dennis Sheehan and David Usher, where they kind of put in pigment, put in paint, and then wipe it back, and they're going back and forth. That's kind of a very common nowadays day and age idea of tonalism. The way those painters, or they'll come to mind if people see works like this. Tonalism in and of itself is a movement from the late 1800s, early 1900s America. It comes out of the Hudson River Valley movement, which was a very strict, I guess, idealistic painting movement, focusing on American scenery and broad vistas and whatnot. You wouldn't see brush strokes and things like that within their work. And this was kind of more small, moody, introspective scenes where you could see brush strokes, etc. It was the little cousin of Impressionism, essentially. essentially, tonal impressionism was like high key and bright and vibrant. Tonalism, not so much. Unfortunately, a lot of people, well, some people today will mischaracterize tonalism as just scenes dealing with sunrise or sunset, and that's kind of a little too narrow of a definition. But if you want to see some modern tonalist works, and if you want to share your work, the Facebook page, the Tonalism Fellowship, is a very friendly group of people and very interesting artists on there. There's also a group whose name is Hudson River Valley Artists, Luminists, and Tonalists. So those are some two groups for you to check out. I've started omitting one group from my list because of unfortunately the narrow view of what tonalism is that's taking place on that page, which it's sad that happens with art. You get 3 people together, and you get 2 people together, and they'll argue about anything. And art is no different. I'm just using this Q-tip to pull water out. I wonder what would happen if I kind of scrub at that Q-tip. But I apologize for that negativity right there. I was just thinking just keep in mind that even though there is some of that takes place on YouTube and on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those things, that negativity, there's a lot of positivity from it. So don't be afraid to share your artwork. Don't try to please other people with your artwork. And if you do please other people, that's awesome. Remember, all this is just, for yourself right now. Oh, and of course, if you ever follow any one of my videos, you are more than welcome to write your name on it and sell it as your own. I want you all to be successful. Art supplies are expensive, and I want you guys to be able to afford art supplies. And it does feel good, even though we're painting for ourselves. If you were to sell something, which I'm sure you will at some point, it just makes you feel good. So I'm just building up these scenes. Phthalo green and this rose phthalo makes a nice, beautiful dark. It works great in watercolor, and it's working great in these water-soluble oils. So I think it's something that will be, I'll definitely use this combination again, these 2 tubes. I don't know if I would spend more money to add different color tubes to this palette, or maybe just leave these 2. If you wanted to go on site and do an oil study, you could probably bring these and not have to bring all this extra stuff. And I'm assuming that, it'll dry just like an oil painting, and you can use it as an underpainting. So if you wanted to keep this the way it was and then paint over it, you could. What else needs to be added? Just talking wise. Oh, of course I have the Patreon account if you ever want to support this channel. Not if I mentioned that. And also liking and subscribing. One of these days I want to tell the video of my first art troll. Cats have been getting into like everything today. But yes, this approach to painting is so much fun. It's very easy to keep tickling and going back and forth. I almost want to put some in there just to smear it around. Oh, this end is wet, so let's see what happens with that. It doesn't really do much. Applying water directly to that spot. Use the back for texture. I need to research and get like super thin brushes. I need to figure out how super thin lines are made, because I just cannot for the life of me get that to work in oil or in watercolor. If you have any recommendations on a super thin brush, let me know down below. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a way of applying using a palette knife or something. I get too much line. So this is just an imaginary scene. All right, I think we'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, let me know down in the comments below. And I will see you all soon. Have a good day.